Good morning and welcome to the 445 Productive Through Joy Show with your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. The show airs each weekday morning, hell early AF at 4:45 a.m. Here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel, then at 4:45 p.m. on Facebook Live today. Guys, we're talking about change. It's David Bowie saying back in the day, and how change can really benefit you if you have an attitude that can make it benefit you. So thanks for joining us here. You can go to productivethroughjoy.com, see about us. We speak to groups, schools, and organizations about being productive through joy. We have a series of really wonderful workshops, seminars, and webinars just for you. We'll holla back. Allow me to say a few words about myself in case you're new to the show. This is your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher, author of the New York Times bestseller Racing Fences, author of the acclaimed historical novel Americas, author of the Pulitzer Prize nominated Animating Black and Brown Liberation, a Theory of American Literatures. I'm the board president of the World Stage, a great nonprofit here in Los Angeles. My educational background is UC Berkeley as an undergrad. My master's from UCLA, my PhD in English Lit from the University of California at Riverside. Guys, I'm an expert at being productive, all right? I don't say that to brag or boast. I say it because people are oftentimes surprised when they hear that level of productivity given my crazy background. I am the product of a young girl who was assaulted at age 16, gave birth to me at 17, and subsequently gave me up for adoption to an extraordinary single divorcee, yet at the time, no biological father, no adopted father. Difficult times for the young MD at his cool Modi famously said, "How you like me now?" And if I can be this productive and be so through joy, I know that many people can in their own way, which really inspires the show. And I know that it's not where you're from, it's where you're about to go. So thanks for joining us here. So again, if you like the show, please subscribe, hit the like button, or hit the subscribe button, or hit them both at the same time. Boing. So let's dive into the topic. So we're talking about change today. So, for many people, change is a problem, including me. I've never liked change, for many African Americans, because we oftentimes, it's such a struggle for all people. Life's a struggle. But certainly when you are changing different environments, you have to deal with the new population of people you have to deal with who may have really obtuse, angled attitudes about people of color and other racist stuff. So it creates anxiety. I was talking with my lady about this, how for many African Americans, we aren't like other populations so keen on traveling for vacation. Other vacations are great, but because when you travel, you have to deal with the ridiculous stuff that people bring to their own lives, their racism and other attitudes, it adds stress. So traveling can be stressful for Black people, just as a side note. Anyway, and that's kind of an example of changing your environment. But for all people, change is difficult. It has its difficulties. And so one is that you can change your attitude first about change. That's the first step at changing, how change can operate in your life. So how does that look? Point two as well. What has helped me, and is still helping me a lot, is there's an old African American saying that as above, so below, which is really, it has its roots in West Africa, which is where the majority of Black folks in this country our roots are. And the ideal is that if you look at the stars, if you look at the solar system, if you look at the environment, especially in the celestial, let me clear my throat, regions, you'll see that there's constant change. Things are moving, right? The Earth is revolving. The constellations, they appear to be moving. We're moving, and so the constellations appear to be moving. There's just change. There's the sun up, sun down. So I live here in Venice, so right by the ocean. So living by the water, and living in nature, you really, really see that change is what life is. In fact, if you're not changing, if you're not moving in nature, you're dead. That's also very clear, because there are times you'll see a dead egret or a seagull, and you're like, oh, he's not moving, right? Because everything else is moving like a mug around the ocean. So the old ones say, as above, so below. So change is natural. Change is good. It took me a long time. I'm still getting to this space, but basically, change is natural. Change is good. That's point one. And it's getting your attitude to that space by just reflecting on the natural environment, which goes into point three. When you can determine that change is good, because all around you change is happening and that change is natural, you then begin to seek out change. I know in my own life, what has happened for me in relation to change is that when change has come, I've not wanted it. Some other force, at times a person or people. I know black professionals, once again, will respond to that. People tripping on black people. Not just Karens, but Kens tripping on black people. Even at times in response to our excellence, which is the worst. But no one, we're not surprised by it, of course. But it still hurts when it happens to you, that's for sure, or to me, which I've had that experience. So, but once you can determine that change is good and that change is natural, you then begin to seek out change as opposed to waiting until change comes up on you, which you don't want to happen. And true, when you initiate the change, there's also some risk, and that's okay, but there's also a level of excitement. When someone initiates change on you, there's almost always just dread. I can speak about that a lot. It's like, oh no, what's going to happen next? But when you initiate the change, you have more opportunity to control the change and set the parameters of the change and also enjoy it, because change is going to happen. That's for sure. So that's all we have for today's show. Boom goes the dynamite. We'll see you this afternoon at 4:45 p.m. Until then, let's talk about it and be about it. Deuces, I'm out.